What is going on? Welcome to episode 88 of the Nintendo Powercast. I'm your host, N64 Josh. Player 2, Hate Zero, Eric. What's up, dude?
What is going on? What up, NPC fam? It's your boy, Hate Zero, your hero. How you doing on this beautiful Tuesday? It's beautiful over here. It's like 80-something degrees. It's crazy over here.
Yeah, it's way too hot. I can't handle it. I'm ready for the rain.
Ready for the rain.
All right. Well, the music we just heard from On Being Human. You can check them out on Spotify and YouTube. Remember, this is the unofficial Nintendo podcast. Okay, the official one is the Nintendo Power Podcast. So close in names, but just not quite the same. So go check them out on iTunes, Google Play. If you'd like to get yourself a free book from Audible, go to audibletrial.com/NPC. Pick up some good books like, I don't know, Ready Player One, Armada, Console Wars, audibletrial.com/NPC. Guys, if you want to start your own podcast, go to podbean.com/NPC. There you can sign up for free. You can record a show from your phone and put it out into the wild and see if podcasting is for you. Podbean.com/NPC. The chair I'm sitting in, OP Seat. Go to opseat.com, check out their chairs. If you decide to pick one up, use coupon code N64Josh to save $10. That's opseat.com. All right, we got a couple announcements.
Hey, listen.
Hey, we do this show live Tuesday night, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, twitch.tv/N64Josh. I want to say hello to everybody. Yickum, Shellshock, Pudding, Kirby, Freaking Crud, Nintendavid, Campbell, Nate Dogg. Did I miss anybody? I think I got everybody. Welcome. If you're just lurking, welcome. We're glad you're here. Guys, I'm writing a new book called Another Castle. And it's all about life and comparing life to Super Mario Brothers and entrepreneurship and even a little bit of like mental health, things like that, like just kind of just life in general. It's called Another Castle. It's coming soon. Lastly, I got another podcast called the Smash Bros Cast. It's all about, guess what, Smash Bros. So you can check that
That's
out
shocking.
on iTunes, Google Play, Podbean, and that's I think that's all the places. Stitcher, there we go. So that's all the stuff out of the way. Let's, maybe we should find out what Eric's been playing. What have you been playing, dude?
Well, I picked up something last week. So for people who don't follow our Discord, stop this recording, jump in Discord, and then start the recording again. I picked up Labo. And I shared a fun story of my experience in buying Labo. So I went to Target because my pre-order failed me, whatever, doesn't matter. Go into Target, pick up the Labo off the shelf. I'm happily walking up to the register. Girl goes, "Oh, cool, you're picking up the Labo." I said, "Yep." She says, "Oh, who are you buying it for? For one of your kids?" I said, "Oh, I don't have kids." She says, "Oh, who are you buying it for then?" It's like, "This is for me." I said, "Oh, okay." So I could have made jokes, but I just stood there in the awkwardness because that's better. So I played Labo. When are we doing our impressions? Is that later or is it now?
Labo will be a little bit later. It'll be the first thing we start with, though. So we'll ease right into it. How about that?
Okay. So I haven't built everything yet. I built, the Joy-Con holder because you have to, and then I did the RC car, and then I jumped straight to the piano. It is interesting. We will save the impressions. On top of that, I put in South Park for about 10 minutes, and I can't give a full review yet, but I can tell you the loading times are much worse somehow. So, we'll see if that is painful enough that it hurts the game at all for me, but because I do have it on Xbox One as well. So we'll see. But yeah, the loading times so far are noticeably worse.
Well, that's too bad. I played a little Labo, picked it up, thought it was good. that was all right. We'll talk about it. Killer in chat has been asking me to play Attack on Titan, so I finally played some of that. I like the action parts, but there's so much story that like I need to play it like first thing Saturday morning with a cup of coffee in hand, like ready to go, because otherwise when I play video games, I like to shoot things and blow stuff up. That's typically that's me. So to like read forever, I'm like, it's not my strong suit here. So
Yeah. Well, and you have to be in the right frame of mind. I don't know if streaming is the time to play a game where you have to do a lot of reading with deep story. I don't know if that works, because you're going to spend so much time just not interacting.
Yeah, I did a lot of voiceover for each character, so that was, that tried to that helped a little bit. But
yeah.
Whew, it was it's all right. The gameplay's really cool. You're kind of like Spider-Man with swords, so I like that. And you're fighting big ugly creatures, so that's also cool. So of course, the norms, Mario Kart, which we're trying to do a tournament now. So guys, if you want to play with us, Mario Kart Monday is still happening. Right now, it's from 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time until 9 is when the tournament is. So that's we're still jumping in at 6 if you want to just get in for some private matches, and then we're doing this tournament. We're just kind of testing the waters. We want to make this a little more fun. If this tournament thing works out and we like it, I think I might do like a prize each week or a prize each month or something like that. So come on out for that. It is still a good time. Played some Splatoon. We played in a Splatoon tournament, the one that Nintendo put on. We had a first round bye. We easily defeated the first team, and we have an official team named the Mad Splatters, and so but the third round we got knocked out by a lot of high level players, who then they eventually got knocked out as well, so then we didn't feel so bad. So, and Kirby is saying we still had all the jokes with Attack on Titan. She's totally right. One of the chicks was eating coconuts like she would an apple. It was the craziest thing ever. Maybe it was supposed to be bread, but it looked like a coconut. So, still playing some of these indie titles like Rogue Aces, Streets of Red. The Rogue Aces review is up on YouTube and on n64josh.com. You guys can check that out. Remember, tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Twitch, I will be doing the Way Remastered. We'll be playing a little bit of that. And the same publisher sent me Bouncing Bob, which is like a platformer. So we're going to check that out as well. And maybe a little bit of Wild Guns. It just depends on how the night goes. So we will be checking those out. And if you missed those, you can check out on YouTube the Let's Plays. And so, yeah, that's kind of what I've been playing. Of course, some Smash Bros here and there, because I got to keep trying to get my chops up. I don't know that there's enough time I don't know if I have enough time to ever get to the level I want to be with Smash. So here's to hoping, but we'll see.
You'll get there. You'll get there.
Hopefully. I hope so. But hey, let's get into our news and talking points. All right, so the first thing I have is Labo, because it came out on Friday. I walked into Best Buy, walked out with both the I ordered them ahead of time, and then just walked out with both the robot and
Did you bring a kid with you?
Negative, Ghost Rider. But see, I walk in, they're like, "Hey Josh, what's up?"
Okay. So they know. They assume like, "Oh, he's buying this for one of his kids, probably."
No, they know. They're like, every time they see a new Switch game, I walk in, they're like, "Yeah, I planned on seeing you today." That's what. They're like, "Why are you here?" I'm like, "Well, like today. Well, the South Park game came out on Switch. Yeah, you work here, right?" So, but yeah, so I brought it home. The first thing we did was, of course, the RC cars, right? That's like right at the top. I actually filmed the entire process of building the house. So I'm going to do a time lapse of building the house, so you guys can see that from start to finish. I had a couple issues. That we'll talk about. But the so Saturday, so my daughter and I built the house. A lot of fun. She was really getting into it. I enjoyed watching the videos and kind of just walking her through it. She's 10. My 15-year-old son on Saturday built the piano by himself. We took the dog for a walk out in the woods, kind of did a little hiking, and came back, and the piano was built. So that was kind of cool. And he's a piano player. He really loves it. So I come in to Linkin Park being played on the Labo piano. I'm like, oh, you got it set up. He's like, oh yeah. So Thursday he has a cast right now. He can't wait to get it off so he can actually really kind of jump into this thing. So far that's all we have completed is the house, the piano, and the RC cars. They do take some time. Here's the problem I had. I didn't realize in the bag, and I only bring this up because if somebody hasn't picked this up yet, I don't want you to do the same thing I did. There's reflectors that you have to use, right? But there's actually a set of reflectors for the house, and there's a set of reflectors for the piano. I didn't realize there was a second sheet of stickers. I just started working with the one sheet I had, and I'm like, well, this looks a little different, but they were upside down in my bag, so I didn't see that I had a second set of reflectors. I thought it was just the felt pads because they're the same. The backing color was kind of the same, and so we actually he had to go in on Saturday, take the house apart, take the reflectors off that I had stole from the piano, super glue them back to like on the piano so they would work, and I had tried to swap out as many of them as I could. I knew I had screwed up. When you get to the point there's reflectors that are little triangles, I'm like, well, that's definitely not on this. So where is this other sheet of stickers? And I went digging around through the box, and I found it. So we had to replace a lot of our reflectors. And before we replaced them, we tried using the house. They wouldn't work. They had to be. It's pretty. Like, be careful putting those things on. Make sure you put them on pretty close to where they say, and make sure you use the right size, because our buttons and our key and our crank on our house wouldn't work until we swapped them out. So,
interesting.
So other than that, I've had a good time playing with the piano. The house was pretty cool. We're gonna dig into it more. I think the best part for me was just sitting down with my daughter, though, and my wife also. She actually my wife and I finished the house Saturday morning. My daughter and I built the house and the button, and then she went to a friend's house or something. So just getting to engage with family and just see how creative this stuff is. Like, I don't know. The next time I hear somebody say you spent $70 on cardboard, though, I think I might lose my mind. Like, there is so much value to this thing. Yes, it's cardboard, but it's like this mesh of cardboard and technology that just breeds creativeness, So like,
yeah,
I'm down. What'd you think?
Man, I got some complaints. I'm gonna just lead with those. The video you cannot play without holding your finger on the button. If they don't fix that, I'm throwing the entire thing in the garbage.
How about the recycle bin?
No, I will burn the mother down. That was the dumbest design decision. I don't have 3 arms, and some of this stuff, like, you're holding cardboard in awkward positions trying to get the right folds, and you're like, oh, okay, now let me figure out with a second arm or a third arm, let me figure out how to press play on this video so I can see what to do next. So that's a minor issue. My biggest issue, and it's not an issue, I think Labo is a really cool concept still. Here's my biggest problem. The most fun with Labo is building the thing. So, I built the piano with my wife, and it was fun to do together, and she actually ran the video for that, which was great for me. That was fun to do together. My problem is we finished, and now there's not a lot of depth in the piano. I think there's more fun in building than there is in actually playing with Labo. For me, at least, I'm middle aged almost, so some of it's lost on me, and I expected that. But yeah, that's kind of I'm hoping they sell cardboard packs as like DLC down the road, because there's still 8 items that have been in videos that are nowhere to be found, like the bird, the shotgun, the camera. There's a lot of Labo potential still out there that we're not getting yet. So a third set is coming. I guarantee it. So that's minor complaint, but that's kind of my issue right now. Is now I've got this piano. I've played through it. I'll tinker with it here and there, but um, the fun was in the building process, and I want to share that with people. So like I have nephews I want to rebuild the piano with. I wish I could just buy like a second piano set and have them build it with me.
So did you see any of the videos of people playing the piano and the things they were coming up with?
Sure, yeah. So, but I mean, I have a real piano, so I didn't expect to be super into it, and I will eventually get into some of the light programming stuff where you can do some of the other Discover stuff, because I haven't got into that. I too played Linkin Park on my piano because it's so good to play. I also tried to play.
In the end?
I didn't do In the End. I did Crawling.
Oh, okay.
But In the End's a good one. That's obviously heavy piano. I also did Still DRE by Dr. Dre on that thing because that's my favorite thing to do on a piano. So, yeah, it's fun and it works surprisingly well for cardboard. Like the keys don't feel stupid. They feel pretty good. I mean, they don't feel like real keys, but they feel pretty good.
Yeah.
Dogs are going crazy upstairs, so I don't know if you picked that up.
Oh yeah, I can hear him. That's all right though. We're doing it live. We're doing it live. So, I mean, watching, like, I played with the piano for a little bit and I thought it was great. I'm not much of a piano player. I'm like the white keys only, basically. Like I know enough to get by, but what I'm seeing, if I had the time, like, you can really create some killer stuff with it. I totally see what you're saying, or hear what you're saying about the building aspect being so fun. I wonder if like the robot suit for you might be better because you'll be like, you can finally put it on and then play the game after the fact. You know what I mean? Because these are just kind of little mini games. There's not,
Right.
it's not like there's a whole lot to it. Now, I haven't done the racing game. I haven't done the fishing game yet. We've only done the piano and the house. And the house is just kind of like, it's just kind of like silly stuff. Like you spray a little creature with perfume when you push the button on the side of it, and you can spin gears and things like that. It's a novelty, right?
Right.
I mean, it's kind of like, I can't believe I'm using a cardboard crank to spin these gears or turn this key. Like, so there is a ton of potential for this, especially. I think it's going to unlock so much creativity in the community. I don't think we've hardly seen anything yet. But I get what you're saying. Building the stuff was an absolute blast. Like,
Well,
it was really fun.
and so for me, like, the build is so cool. So I have a 9-year-old nephew who I wish I would have saved the piano for, because it's pretty intricate. There's a lot of pieces, but ultimately you have like 5 sheets of cardboard and you turn that into a playable piano with simply cardboard and tape. Like, that's so cool. And so I would actually give Nintendo more money if they just sell me the cardboard to redo all of this. And they do. So you can go buy replacement cardboard for everything. I think the piano's like $12. I don't know how about shipping. But you can buy replacement cardboard for all of these items. And so maybe that's what I'll end up doing. I just wish it was more readily available, like out at retail.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at the chat. Nintendox saying I didn't buy it myself, but hearing that the games and software are lackluster is disappointing. I, I don't know that I would say it's lackluster. I don't feel like it isn't doing. It's doing everything it said it would do. Basically,
Hmm.
it's kind of up to your imagination. Let me give you another example though of something that was pretty fun that my son and my niece were doing. They ended up building the second RC car. And then with a single switch, they were playing tag, they were racing, they were doing some different things like that. And they played that for a good you know, 15, 20 minutes, half hour. And I was surprised that they're laughing, they were having a good time with it. So there's definitely fun to be had, but it's more about trying to just unlock that creative, get the creative juices flowing in you. So that
Sure.
some of these tweets of these guys playing the piano and changing the octaves as they're going, and then if you shake the piano, you get a little reverb, you basically get a little reverb from it. They did so much, and just even messing around with the piano, and there's a sound that it's like these almost like these old guys kind of almost like chanting. I'm like, man, if I could figure it out, I wonder if I could do the original Halo theme
Oh no.
with these guys.
I'm sure you could.
I'm not sure, but I definitely want to try. And so there's a lot there, but some of it is if you're not really if you don't know how to play piano very well, it may be a little limiting because you're like, well, what do I do here?
No, and I've seen some videos of people using the loop feature to make actual music, and there's a lot of potential there. But like this week, I think, man, maybe it came out today. There's music creating software that came to the Switch.
The Korg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that today?
I'm not entirely sure if that was today or not.
Okay. Well, I'm buying that because that's exciting to me. But I'm not disappointed. I knew exactly what I was buying. I just hoped that it would engage with me a little bit more. It's not Nintendo's fault that I'm getting old. And it's also not their fault I don't have kids. Actually, it might be Nintendo's fault I don't have kids. If you think about it, that could be Nintendo's fault. I was too busy playing video games when I was young instead. No, I'm kidding. So I think it's great, and I just, after building it, it made it painfully obvious to me, like, man, I should have saved this experience and used it with one of my nephews or something like that. It is a lot of fun. I do notice that one of my Joy-Cons must vibrate at a different frequency because my RC car only goes in circles. Like, it'll go forward, but eventually it'll go in a full circle. So
I had mine do that at first too, and I adjusted how far I pushed the
Yeah.
Joy-Con in, and then that stopped.
oh yeah, maybe I'll test that. I've adjusted the frequency in which it vibrates, and that
Right.
kind of compensated a little bit, but I just had to turn one way down, so
Yeah, so
it's much slower.
I found that they may not necessarily slide into the exact point, but you can tell which one's a little looser and which one's working better, and you just got to kind of work it to get them. And then
Got
after
it.
that, they worked really well. Like I said, the kids were playing tag and stuff like that. They were having a good time with it. So overall, I think it's a positive experience. I had fun with it, and I'm excited to see what will come. And I've got nephews who are like 4, like 5 and 6. I can't wait to sit down and do some of this stuff with them.
Yeah, so for me, I'm saying the game is a red shell for sure. Like it's a must own. It's a Nintendo must own. If you have kids, if you know kids, if you've ever seen a kid, you should absolutely buy Labo. The game is for you if you fall in one of those categories.
And it is Game of the Year. It's better than God of War pudding. I just wanted to throw that out there too.
What?
So-
Why is everybody talking about Gears of War all of a sudden? I don't understand. Like, what's with the revival of Gears?
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, we have a ton of other stuff to talk about, so
Okay.
we are gonna have to keep flying here.
Okay.
Mario Tennis character styles have all been like the Treehouse went through on their Tumblr and kind of broke down each one. I snagged an article from Destructoid that just kind of linked that, just put everything together. So it's included in the show notes. You can check it out if you want. Basically, here's your characters that you've got: all around, technical, defensive, powerful, tricky, and speedy. Right? So most of them are pretty clear on what they are. All around's not going to have many weaknesses, but they don't have any like glaring strengths, right? They're all
Sure.
around. Technical, maybe you can curve your shots a little bit better, that kind of stuff,
Yeah, you can put the ball wherever you want it for
Yeah.
the most part.
Defensive, it is what it says, you're going to be able to play a little more defensively. Maybe they're taller characters, that kind of thing. Powerful, right? Be able to break those rackets a little bit easier, but sometimes they're slower, kind of clunkier, right? There's a give and take with all this stuff. Tricky is interesting because you can hit the ball like all the way, like it'll just curve, just have a massive curve to it, is what they said. And then last, of course, is speedy, which you have characters like Toad, who's not just the announcer in this game, who
Nice.
can just boogie around the court pretty quick. So seeing
Yeah.
this gets me excited because this is more options than we've ever seen in a Mario Tennis game before. Like this is getting me pretty pumped, and I'm ready for this tournament. When are we doing this online tournament? Come on, like what's the deal, Nintendo? We want to do the network tests. Bring it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm so pumped for it. I mean, I think all of those classes probably have a counter class, so if you're playing, except for all around probably has the least counter, but if you're playing speedy, you probably are going to have a hard time against something. I don't know. I'm trying to think what would combat speedy players, because being speedy in tennis is a pretty crucial thing. Maybe the tricky is hard for speedy.
Well, I'm guessing a lot of times when you have speed, you end up having like weaker
Right.
stuff. So I'm wondering if a powerful against a speedy, maybe you may have a greater chance of breaking a racket or things like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. We'll find out soon enough. I assume the game comes out June, so we'll probably get a stress test early June, late May.
Yeah,
Early
hopefully,
June?
hopefully sooner than later. I really want to
Yeah.
get my hands on this thing. So, okay, Splatoon 2 had a massive update 3.0. It is out right now if you're watching this with us live, and if you're listening to this in the future, of course it's out. So we got new guns, new gear, new stage. Rank X is now something you can achieve. And oh no, and everybody's saying if you can get it to download, because it looks like the servers are just melting right now. So so that's too bad, but I mean, it's actually a good thing, right? It's a good thing that many people are playing the game. One of the things that's kind of cool with Rank X is you can actually hit both your left and right stick and do a different pose in one of the screens, so that's kind of cool. Lots of balancing and stability stuff. I'm just going to cover just a few things here because I mean there's pages of patch notes for this, so if you guys want to check them out, I have a link to Nintendo Everything that kind of does a good job of breaking it down, and you can check it out there. So we have a new stage, which is a stage from 1, which is Camp Triggerfish. That'll be added tomorrow. Let me see it'll be added tomorrow at 11 a.m. I guess, according to my information here. Here's what it says. I just kind of grabbed a little blurb. You know what I did? I have a link to this tweet. This is a Japanese tweet that I translated, so we'll see how I'm going to read it here. Let's see how well the translate worked. But a battle is held on a pier, on a pond, in a popular outdoor leisure facility in the suburbs. With the remaining time, the gate will move and the terrain will change, as it did 2 years ago, but more routes can be accessed with ink rails and sponges. So there you go. And I just linked to that tweet if you want to check it out. 4 new weapons right away that are just variations on current weapons. Neo Splashomatic, Foil Squeezer, New Squiffer, and Gluga Dooley's Deco. And they also have different secondary weapons and whatnot. So that's just literally scratches the surface. I saw that Ninja Squid got nerfed. There were a few people that were bummed out about that. Basically, I think originally with Ninja Squid, if you used it, you had to use 5 swim speed chunks to get back up to normal speed, and now they've made it even more. And I don't know the exact math on it yet, but it got nerfed, and I saw some people that were not too happy about it. So, but if you're into all that technical stuff and seeing what they did, I know things like the curling bomb, if you hold R after you throw it, it actually will have a bigger explosion or something along those lines. I kind of just glanced over this stuff, but ton of information. If you're a Splatoon player, I say, go check out those notes or check out the link I have in the show notes here. When are we going to get you to play more Splatoon, man?
I don't know. Sometime soon, hopefully.
All right.
There's just so many games to play, and with South Park just dropping, I don't want to I will try to under promise and over commit rather than the other way around. But yeah, I plan on playing it. I haven't sold it. I'm not going to sell it. It's going to be played.
Awesome. Nightcrawler says his download finished. Germs for You says Akuna Matata. What's up, man? How are you?
Is that why our viewers just dropped? Is that why
everybody
just
left
plummeted
to go play Splatoon? All right, guys. The Dark Souls network test has also been delayed. So, yeah, I'm kind of curious on what happened with this game and why all the delays. So, yeah, we're just gonna have to wait. Just be patient. Hopefully, we'll get it sooner than later. Was this a pickup for you, Dark Souls?
Yeah, I was going to for sure. I don't think it's going to be a game I ever finish. To be completely honest, it's going to frustrate me to no end. But yeah, I was going to pick it up. I never played it, so I don't want to say was. I will pick this up if it ever actually launches.
This is going to be another payday situation, right?
Don't even start with that. Don't go there. Don't go there,
guys. Maybe just by a show of hands in chat, who wants to watch Eric stream Dark Souls? Because I know I kind of do. I would pop some popcorn and watch that stream. Just we'll how many retweets to get you to stream Dark Souls?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to come up with a number. 64 retweets, and we'll stream Dark Souls.
I got you, fam.
If you're under 18, don't watch the stream. I'm gonna warn you now.
Look at hands are being raised. So there you go. All right, this is pretty cool, guys. Bethesda is pleased with sales and wants to continue putting titles on the Switch as long as the Switch itself can handle it. This is from a GameReactor.eu article. I have a link here, and then there's a quote from the article. I'm gonna read the whole quote here. This is from Senior Vice President of Marketing Pete Hines. It says, "We have some surprises in store." He said, "We're gonna be talking about a healthy number of new games and new projects. And look, I'm really excited. We've been working on E3 for this year since September of last year. I'm already 7-8 months into working on E3, but I really like how it's coming along. I think there's gonna be something in there for everyone, regardless of what you play on or what kind of games you're into. And my biggest hope, as always, is that we deliver on the promise of E3. I think we promised a lot of stuff last year, and we shipped every one of those games, and they were all really good quality. I think we had the highest Metacritic rating of any publisher in 2017, and that's our goal again this year. Is to not only talk about new stuff, but also deliver on those promises and give people the kind of games that they really want and expect from Bethesda. So this isn't necessarily just for Switch, but there's going to be a lot. It sounds like there's a healthy number of new games and projects from Bethesda. So, we're going to see things like Fallout. I mean, even the older Fallout's coming over to the Switch could be a good thing. Maybe we see some new IP. Maybe Skyrim. I think the ongoing joke is maybe we'll see Skyrim in refrigerators now. We'll see a version of Skyrim in the fridge. So that'll be nice. Maybe the Apple Watch. I don't know. We'll get the Skyrim on the Apple Watch.
You could probably get it on a TI-84 at this point, right? So Bethesda made BioShock, right? Or I think they were. I could be wrong, but let's say I'm not wrong. I think that'd be a great game to remaster and put on the Switch or series.
I know it was published by 2K, I think, but
maybe.
Let me look.
Maybe. While you're looking at that up, I'm going to talk about other things. I think it's a no-brainer for them to put their games on the Switch. Their ports that they've done already have done pretty well. So, yeah, why not? I mean,
Irrational Games is BioShock.
Okay.
But let's get that BioShock trilogy on the Switch. I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Let's do that. So, I think Oblivion wouldn't be bad. It should be an easy one for them to do. It's such a classic game. Any of the Fallouts, basically 3 or 4, would be amazing to have. So yeah, why not? Why not?
Everything we keep hearing, we've heard from the GameStop president that, we thought I don't know, I don't remember his exact quote, but it was something along the lines of, if you thought last year was good, you're going to be in for a treat this year,
Yeah.
And my question is, how does Nintendo top that? How do they top Zelda, Mario, Splatoon, ARMS? Like, how do they, and then, the Nindies that came out, like, how do they top last year?
The answer's obvious. Aces is game of the year. No, we might see a Pikmin 4. Smash is going to be here this year. That's going to be huge. Yep. Maybe Luigi's Mansion, maybe Mario Maker, they have so many games they can release. And then for them to top last year, I think the third parties have to play a big role. And I think we're getting that this year, is more the third parties. We're getting Dark Souls, we're getting South Park, we're getting, name your title. So I'm very excited to be a Switch owner.
It's only a matter of time before GTA makes its way onto the Switch. That game still is in like the top 10 game sales, like week after week, month after month. And like, I actually saw a really funny chart that showed a timeline of years, and then each GTA game, and it says you can pinpoint the exact moment that Rockstar began using microtransactions, and it stops development, and it's just one game, and all these years keep passing.
Hey, did you play GTA 5?
I have not, no.
It's a fantastic game. The online, I didn't mess with any of the microtransactions, and that never really took away from the experience for me, because buying the nicest car in Grand Theft Auto doesn't really do me a lot of good, because I usually wreck it and have to go steal a different car. So it doesn't really matter to me. So like the microtransactions are nice, and they'll give you really good guns initially. You'll run out of ammo. You're going to blow up your car. So it doesn't, I don't know how to say, it doesn't give you that big of an edge, and it doesn't really matter.
Mm.
But the game is a lot of fun. There's a lot of depth. The story's good. The gameplay is fun. I still think GTA 5 is the best open world game probably out there.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty beloved series, that's for sure. Speaking of microtransactions, I do want to touch on a topic that I hit last episode, which was Animal Crossing Pocket Camp, and I had a few people reach out to me, and they're like, hey, it is a free to play game, so why it shouldn't bother anybody if they want to do microtransactions, and I completely agree with that statement. What it boils down to me for me is that you're basically gambling to get the items you want, and you're doing that with real money. And that's what I don't think is a very good business model. Like I don't think it's I think it's putting the profit before the customer. And I think there needs to be a better way. So I'm not opposed to free to play stuff monetizing. I hope that wasn't what came. I hope it didn't come across that way. I'm absolutely okay with free to play games monetizing. I just don't want to see it done in ways that are just not very like tasteful, or uh, that really just aren't a great incentive to spend money. I don't want it to be gambling, basically. That's what it boils down to for me. So I know you've been playing Pocket Camp religiously since it came out. So
Love it. I still get updates all the time from Pocket Camp.
oh, good, good.
I need to mute those or something. I don't want them. Don't at me.
Turn notifications off. Yeah. So the last topic we have here is, I don't know how I feel about this. I'm really curious on how you feel about it. The Switch, it's now been made public that due to hardware shortcomings, that the Switch is now basically opened up for jailbreak. Right? Can be. Is it jailbroke? Is that how you say it? And
Yeah.
yeah, and there can be mods put on it, and there's nothing Nintendo can do to fix this with a patch. So the only thing that they can do is release the T214 chipset that was found in the firmware update 5.0 to fix it. So I want to hear from you guys in chat as well. What is your initial thought on this?
So I mean, I work in InfoSec, right? So information security, that's what I do for a living on the real side. If you make a product or you make anything that's insecure, you are asking for this to happen.
Jailbroken is what chat is telling me. So just so that I don't like
Jailbroken.
Yeah, I guess that's
Yeah. Right. So, you are asking for this to happen. So, there are some ways that Nintendo can still potentially get around it, but it would really irritate people, and I think it would lose face for them. So they're just gonna have to suck it up unless they find another way to lock it down. But it's pretty simple. If one of these jailbroken switches calls out to home at any point, they could brick the system remotely.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if they start doing that, that's a dangerous road to go down. So, and this one doesn't even sound like it's necessarily Nintendo's fault. It sounds like the issues with NVIDIA. So yeah, sorry Nintendo, that sucks, but you guys have a terrible track record of locking down any of your systems anyway, so I really am not surprised. Name a Nintendo system that wasn't hackable. Virtual Boy, because 4 people owned it, maybe. I don't know. So this is not surprising. This is not news to me. What are your thoughts?
The only thing that I go like, here's where I'm kind of torn on it. One, I want to see what the community comes up with. but on the other hand, I don't want to see a bunch of pirated games end up available. I mean, the DS and 3DS are horrible. Didn't we talk about that last week or not too long ago about like
Yeah.
literally the amount of like I can't. The numbers are staggering
Hmm.
for how many like copies of Pokemon got downloaded illegally.
Oh,
Right?
the Wii was probably the worst console for piracy that existed, right? I mean, it you people are still go to Craigslist right now. You'll still find a Wii with like 600 games uh preloaded, you
Right.
know?
Right.
So yeah, it's not surprising.
Yeah. So it.
And so I guess here's the good thing. This is a temporary problem. It's only going to affect Nintendo with if every current Switch owner decides to jailbreak their system, it's only going to affect about 10 million systems. It's not a big deal, right?
Yeah, it's not too many. It's not too many.
And this is why they're working on Switch 2, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Yeah. And what's crazy is the company that put all this stuff out and how it goes how you go about doing it. Like it's not all that difficult to do. Like it's actually quite simple. And so I don't know. I like if we can see. I mean, look, we saw a guy put basically back up his saves, right? In
Mm.
2 weeks. Like I know there's going to be some cool things that can come from this, but at the same time, it's the like what does it do to um, Nintendo's bottom line, right? And I know that doesn't affect me directly, and I've seen chat like down with the man, blah blah blah, but like
Huh.
Nintendo is the main company I go to for entertainment. So the better they do, the more software they put out, the more I'm entertained, right?
I I suspect that it's not going to be a huge problem. If they're smart with the paid online, if you're using a jailbroken system, you won't be able to use paid online. So maybe you don't care about that, but you're going to miss out on playing Smash with anybody. You're going to miss out Mario Kart, Splatoon, you know, Aces, name every online game moving forward. So is having pirated software and a virtual console, because I assume that's what people are going to do first, right? Throw a virtual console out there, emulator. So is having that more important than playing online? And if it is, I don't really want to play online with you anyways. You're probably the people cheating at Mario Kart. So good riddance.
Yeah, get out of here.
See you later. Not really though. Hope I never see you.
So Kirby Geek says it affects me directly. She does say LOL, but she says because it hurts third parties more than anything. First party titles will be fine, but her niche stuff that she loves, like Penny Punching Princess and things like that. It I don't know. I there's such a good thing. Uh, they just got such a everything's like there's so much momentum. I just don't want to see. I don't want to see. And then what? The other thing that this forces is a newer Switch hitting the market. What are we going to see with that? Is it going to be the identical system? Is it going to be a little more powerful? Like what? And then how do people feel about that? Like this is a year-old system. Is it going to be better? Is it?
So the Xbox, the OG Xbox was pretty easily hackable. And I don't remember it causing massive issues. There's a small community of people who are willing to void their warranties, jailbreak their stuff, whatever the case is, right? I don't think it's going to be the overwhelming number. So, the people who are willing to do this probably weren't going to be investing a lot of money into these titles anyways.
Right.
They're more interested in figuring out how to break the system than they are playing the games. So
that is
I
their
don't.
game apparently.
Oh, it absolutely is. There's a huge community of people who are just into hacking. Some of them are just into hacking because they believe everything should be open source and readily available. I think that's true, except with intellectual properties. But yeah, I don't see it causing that much harm. And
And I will
we'll
say
see.
this: I probably sound. The reports I watched and the things I read, they definitely had this like Chicken Little vibe to them, like the sky was falling. And I feel like I kind of took some of that on, like, let's just wait and see what happens, right?
Yeah.
Like, and Nintendo's gonna figure it out. They're gonna figure it out. If it's a new chipset, it's gonna be fine. Yeah, there's gonna be some modded stuff out there, but I mean, you know, if you can't update your system, things can't, like you were saying. Eventually, it may not be worth it for them. And I even think with like the
Right.
360, if you had stuff, I know at a certain point anyway, if you had stuff modded, they would brick your system. And
Yeah, you couldn't take it to Xbox Live. So if you're only into single player games, sure, go ahead and mod your system, get your free games. But so much of the games now are not just single player games. And now games are being sold to you broken right out of the box. So you have to get that day one patch to play it. And if you can't go get that day one patch, you're playing a broken game. So I don't know. I don't think that works like it used to with how online everything is. So
and he says, will they care? What about all the cheats in Mario Kart 7 and 8?
yeah.
I mean, and
Yeah.
they don't. I mean, they patch some stuff out, but like, I mean, that's just that's just
The cheats in Mario Kart 7 and 8 aren't costing them money. You know, Nintendo likes money, so I suspect they'll care. They probably won't care if all you're doing with your Switch is running an emulator and playing, bad emulated games. People are doing that on every platform to include Apple Watch. So that doesn't really matter to anybody anymore, I don't think.
I saw Fortnite running on an Apple Watch, so
That doesn't surprise me, but we can't get it on Switch.
right now.
Oh, Fortnite. There's another game we'll get this year.
Oh,
See, that's going to be big.
they confirmed, guys. No.
Yeah, confirmed.
Not confirmed.
Hashtag confirmed.
Okay. Well, hey, we did it. And we're right on the money, dude. We're right on the money. So, guys, chat, thank you for hanging out with us tonight. We appreciate you. Hey,
Yes.
where can we find you, my dude?
Well, before we get to that, I ran a poll on my Twitter account. You can find me on Twitter at HateZero with an X. Donkey Kong won the poll. We will be giving away a copy of Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. So I think, are we going to do it live next Tuesday?
Let's do it live next Tuesday.
We're going to do it live next Tuesday. So the winner, assuming you live in the US or Canada, if you don't and you win, we'll figure out a plan B, but I can't guarantee you release day shipping on that. So the winner will get the game at launch.
If it's not in the States, we'll just do it digital. We'll just give them an eShop card.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's even easier.
Yeah.
So tune in next week. We're giving away a early release. You won't get it early, but you'll get it on launch day.
What are you saying?
I don't know.
We already have
Follow me
copies
on
in
Twitter.
hand. All right, guys. Well, you are going to find me on Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, YouTube, and n64josh.com. You're going to find me on all those places. So go check them out. Remember, I have a new podcast, the Smash Bros Cast. And go check it out. You want to get yourself a free book from Audible, go to audibletrial.com/NPC. You want to start your own podcast, go to podbean.com/NPC. You want to get yourself a gaming chair, go to opseat.com. Use coupon code N64Josh. You can also check out my Patreon, patreon.com/N64Josh. Guys, all of those are ways that you can help support this show. So if you're into that, go check out those different links. Lastly, we do have an NPC t-shirt at n64josh.com/store. Join our Discord. We have such great conversation in there. So many cool people. You want people to play Rocket League with. You want people to play Splatoon with, Mario Kart, Smash, whatever it is. We're over 300 strong in there now. So there's a lot of people to play games with, or just talk about games. Lastly, if you could leave us a review on iTunes, I would greatly, greatly appreciate that. We're trying to level up to level 5. We're at 4.5 right now, and we're getting there. Week after week, you guys keep dropping these. Reviews, and I really, really appreciate it. So thank you so much. Chat, we love you. Everybody, Alka-Seltzer, Anthony, Nightcrawler, Yickum, Henny, Kirby, MJ, OG Nate Dogg, everybody that's just lurking, thank you guys. We'll see you in the next one. Bye now.